Hey folks, Doug Turnbull here reporting from Traffic Cave Central again. You like my new Bill Elliott flags? I finally put them up. I wish I was here under better circumstances again, but all of this business with the Michael Waltrip racing penalties and the fallout from it have made me do my third video since all of that happened following the Richmond race. I did one for the Richmond race, and then this is my third video after. Shenanigans again, right? NAPA announces just the other day, just Thursday, that they are leaving the Michael Waltrip Racing team after this season. They're not even finishing their contract. They're paying it forward and leaving this season. And the number 56, which is sponsored, one of the few sponsors that does all of the races, number 56 is without sponsorship for next year. And who knows what's going to happen with that. Of course, NAPA doing this because of the blemish cast upon them, the shadow cast upon them, and the fan backlash after the penalties occurred by Michael Waltrip Racing and the things that the teams did or allegedly did during that Richmond race to try to get the 56 in the chase. Of course, the 56 taken out of the chase. And this is huge. As many things as rules, as penalties as that NASCAR wants to levy upon teams, the thing that really hits them in the pocketbook is the sponsorship. Really, these teams, a lot of them are houses of cards. Yeah, we've seen Roush do some creative things with sponsorship and self-funding to keep its race teams alive, but really, the average race team is completely and totally dependent on that sponsor. And right now, Michael Waltrip Racing's flagship team, NAPA, the sponsor that MW Big Guy Big Dubs brought over himself to fund his whole operation and to start his whole venture into self-team ownership of the Cup Series, has turned its back on him after 13 years with Michael, since the 2001 Daytona 500, which he won. This is a big step. And by the way, Michael Waltrip doesn't know what's going to happen next. He even is unsure. Supposedly, he says 5 Hour Energy is not worried about them leaving the 15 car for next season, but that car is not even fully funded by them. If 5 Hour starts to back out of their deal, he could be with two championship or at least chase caliber drivers that are without sponsorship for next year, and the only driver with the big money on board is Aaron's and Brian Vickers in the number 55. This is a big deal. It's huge, and the ramifications say a lot. First off, somebody more than likely is going to gain from this NAPA money being freed up. Will it be the Nationwide Series, which Nationwide's announced after 2014 it will not be the series title sponsor there? Could it be the NAPA Series or the NAPA Grand National Series or something like that? Could it be an up-and-coming driver like Trevor Bayne, who's had trouble having that full funding to really get a cup ride, and who's been part-time with the Wood Brothers for years? Could it be someone an underdog like David Reagan or someone like that, someone that we don't even think of, that NAPA is just going to decide to get behind and really try to push them forward? Or will it be someone that has blanks on their quarter panels now and it'll give NAPA a chance to decrease its involvement in NASCAR but still get the bang for their buck with a potential star driver? Kevin Harvick still has quarter panel space available. We also have the 29 machine that Ryan Newman's going to drive next year. His teammate, we assume Austin Dillon's going to be in the Cup Series next year. We've seen that schematic or that picture, not a schematic, of the number 3 Cheerios car, but you have to think that Childress still may be looking for a few more bucks. Does NAPA end up with Richard Childress Racing? And there's this driver, what's his name? Dale Earnhardt Jr., whose father lured that NAPA sponsorship to his race team 12, 13 years ago. Dale Earnhardt Sr., who was a longtime partner with NAPA. Could Dale Earnhardt Jr. end up with NAPA sponsorship to augment or help his ride over there with National Guard and Time Warner Cable, his big sponsors now? Remember, Diet Mountain Dew, not a big player on the 88 team anymore. There's a lot of teams that could benefit, but really you have to feel bad for Martin Truex Jr. Not so much Michael Waltrip Racing right now, but Martin Truex, who himself drove his butt off, was a great sponsor personality, a great spokesperson for NAPA, and now he could not only be looking for a sponsorship, but he could be looking for a ride for next year if that 56 team were to cease operations. And where would he go? What ride is open besides the 78 at Furniture Row Racing? And what are they looking to do? This is a really big thing with a lot of ramifications. This silly season just keeps getting zanier by the minute. And by the way, I need to talk to Michael Waltrip Racing. Michael, come here. It's just me and you for a second. A little credibility check here. You met with teams in the garage today, Friday morning, 8 a.m. You met with the media in the garage, rather, to tell them your side of the story and your reaction to NAPA, your longtime commercial campaigners leaving. And you still stuck by your story that Ty Norris made an in-the-moment decision to have the cars pit. You still said that Clint Boyer didn't spin on purpose. And I read an article last evening by Dave Moody of Godfather Motorsports and Soapbox.com, and he said that there's some sort of dichotomy here. Either you're fiercely loyal to Ty Norris, who made that decision because he still has a job that we know of, or you really were complicit in this and you don't want to fire a guy that just making him a scapegoat. There's something going on here. And either Ty needs to be punished, although I'd hate to see anybody lose their job. Ty needs to be punished, or you're not telling the whole truth. And I think as far as this PR disaster goes, you're not telling the whole truth. My personal opinion. And you're not going to gain credibility back until you start doing that. But you're going to hopefully wait till it blows over. Maybe you'll sign another corporate sponsor. Or Toyota will throw some money at you. But somebody's going to lose out here, and I really think it's going to be you guys. And for the families, the team members, even the drivers that work for your teams there, they deserve better than that. So hopefully, Michael, you can get your cards in order and start really, really getting things together. But if not, this is what's going to be left. $16 to $20 million down the tubes as far as NAPA goes. Maybe another $10 million or however much 5-hour energy spends. And maybe more important than that, your credibility. So please say no to that, Michael Waltrip. I know you've lived much longer than I have, and you've been in NASCAR way longer than I've even known about NASCAR. But I really hope that things turn around for you, because right now you're tanking out. And since Napa's gone, I think I have a right to say that. All right, last point here. Who's going to win this weekend at New Hampshire? It'd be funny if it was Truex, right? Yeah, they had a sponsor appearance in Rhode Island Thursday night after the NAPA announcement for NAPA. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays. I'm Doug Turnbull in the Traffic Cave. Thanks for watching the WSB Radio Race Blog, and we'll see you soon. Have a great weekend.